I was making money. I was kind of doing my thing, but it just didn't feel good. I didn't feel fulfilled. So once I turned about 24, 25, I started a clothing brand because you got to realize everybody in that's doing something illegal has a business mindset. You feel me? That they can be an owner of something. When you run a drug operation, that's damn near running a business. So if you weigh the options and correlate that, it's like, why would I risk my freedom when I can go to this side and do something positive and legal, basically doing the same thing? It's just it mirrors each other. The corporate world mirrors the illegal world.
Hello, Malik. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, wonderful.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, man, oftentimes I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Malik, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invested in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I
Yes.
love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, Malik, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Malik, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Malik. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day, and I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Malik that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, the impact your work is having, and how you're offering your solutions. This stuff's so beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, my man, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from those beautiful things Malik is doing. And not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we are today with the incredible Malik. So thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much, my man.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Beautiful. So let's get started. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Malik, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, my man, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the incredible Malik on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, my man, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So those folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Malik, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Malik got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Malik, over to you.
I'm from Portland, Oregon, the Pacific Northwest. Um, I'm 28 years old. I started this journey of knowledge about 3 years ago, and it's gotten me here. Like I said, I'm from Portland, Oregon, specifically the Northeast side. Like anywhere else, we have our typical community, and culture that goes along with any culture when we involve ourselves with African Americans, and degenerate culture, gang banging, pimping, drug dealing, just the usual negative stuff that we see within our culture that happens everywhere all across America. I don't know where you reside, but if you resided in America, you can go to any 50 states, and if you find a ghetto, it's the same things. It's very repetitive. So I come from that. That's my background. Um, and as I got older, specifically once I reached the hump of 25 and my brain started to connect in my frontal lobe, I started to realize that that isn't the way I wanted to live. That isn't how I seen myself. I wanted to seek more knowledge. Like you said, I was in the dark before that. I kind of went down the wrong path. I've lived many lives. So I kind of was going down the wrong path. Once I turned 25, I decided to get myself out the dark because I wanted more for myself and furthermore for my family. So it led me to read books. Books took me from knowing a little bit of knowledge to having a knowledge of a plethora of things, and actually wanting to do for self rather than depending on somebody else. And that's what brought me here now. And I wrote my own book. It's called The Brain is the Name of the Game Mindset Guide. And it took me 2.5 years. And I just kind of took a plethora of a whole bunch of books that I read and just spit out what I thought about those isms, knowledge that was given to me. But yeah, like I said, I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm 28. I grew up in a black community. I'm just another man trying to survive anything that comes to me being a black man in America.
Hmm, wow. And I tell you, your story is screaming hope because I believe there are a lot of people that are still stuck in what you came out of. And the fact
Yes,
that, yeah, the fact that you decided to write a book, that tells how beautiful your heart is. Because now you have a
yes,
beautiful solution and you decided to, put it into a book. That's amazing. And the part where you said that when you when you turned 25, you decided to exit the dark. And the next action you did was you pursued knowledge by getting to read books. And you mentioned that getting to read books, it took you from the little knowledge that you had to, this getting to understand things more clearer and better. And that's so important. If we really want transformation, we must pay the price of seeking to know the truth. And your story is such a
yes.
beautiful one. And thank you so very much for deciding to leave the dark. I tell you, this is a very important one. Okay, so let us get started from this angle. How did your parents shape who you are today?
I feel like that made me everything I am today. I wouldn't have it no other way. If I could restart, I would do it all over again. Um, I feel like coming from the culture, we have a harder exterior, and softer interior. Coming from the black community, we gotta put on a persona that we're tough, we're hard, we can move fast, and we can rock with the best of them. And that has taken me in my journey to have more discipline than the average person. I grew up in a household where I was cleaning my house at 8 years old. It was discipline. My auntie did not play certain things that other kids kind of would play at that age. So I come from a place of discipline. Knowing that has took me on my journey to say, hey, Malik, you got to follow this list, this list, this list, and whatever contudes with that, you have to do it. So, for example, I've been reading 20 pages or more for 3 years straight. Yeah, I've taken breaks in some of those days, but most days I'm going to read my 20 pages no matter what. You feel me? And that has made me that those when I was younger and I was looking at my auntie like, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. I don't like discipline. I want to do what I want to do. I don't like structure. It's taken me as an adult. Hey, bro, you've been disciplined and structured ever since you was 8 years old. This is like a cakewalk for you now that you're 28.
Amazing. Discipline and structure. I got that.
Yes,
I got that. So you stopped working conventional jobs at age 21,
yes,
right? Can you tell us more about
yes.
that? Why did you stop?
Um, I got fired from my job. Just
Oh,
dealing with a woman, uh, making the wrong decisions, just terrible decision making, and I decided to go down that dark path that I was kind of telling you about. Uh, that kind of grasp a black man and the culture in a different way. You know, everybody got cousins or an uncle that kind of went down that dark path, and we say that ain't gonna be me, that ain't gonna be me until you're sitting there having to make a decision on how am I gonna get my money, how am I gonna pay my bills. That decision kind of brings you to a door, and you can go left or right. You can work for somebody or work for yourself. So I kind of made the decision to work for myself, and that led me down a dark path, like you kind of said, and just being ignorant and not privy to knowledge. And as I from 21 to 25, I kind of I was making money. I was kind of doing my thing, but it just didn't feel good. I didn't feel fulfilled. So once I turned about 24, 25, I started a clothing brand, because you got to realize everybody in that's doing something illegal has a business mindset. You feel me? They have they can be an owner of something. They can, when you run a drug operation, that's damn near running a business. So if you weigh the options and correlate that, it's like, why would I risk my freedom when I can go to this side and do something positive and legal, basically doing the same thing? It's just it mirrors each other. The corporate world mirrors the illegal world.
brick world mirrors the illegal world. I got that.
Yes.
So let us look at your definition of the ultimate man. What is your definition of the ultimate man?
The definition of the ultimate man, I mean, in my book is basically, I have a chapter about women in there, but it's basically becoming the ultimate man. I feel like I think the ultimate man is a disciplined man, a man of his word, um, a man that works out, a man that loves, is responsible. What else? What else? A man of God, a man of fear of God, and a man that knows that he knows nothing.
Hmm. A man that knows that he knows nothing and is willing to learn, right? Amazing. I got that. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's a beautiful one. A man that knows that he knows nothing and is willing to learn. Okay.
Yes.
So, can you talk to us a bit about your book? What is the inspiration behind your book and how did you come about the title?
The title kind of, I'm going to start with the second question. The title kind of just hit me one day. I don't like to, I have a clothing brand as well. And the name for my clothing brand just hit me. I don't like to think about certain things too hard. I like for it to come to me and flow. And that's how I kind of came up with The Brain is the Name of the Game mindset guide. It kind of just popped up in my head, and I was like, I like that. It rings a bell. It's kind of long, but it rings a bell when you hear it. It's unique. It's one of them things like, okay, when you hear that, oh, you read that book by Malik Duckett, it's going to be unique. It's going to have its ring to it and my name tied to it. And then the inspiration behind my book is 19 Keys and Eric Thomas. I don't know if you know who those people are. They're revolutionaries in the community, in the Black community. Um, Eric Thomas is a motivational speaker. 19 Keys is a thought leader. And I took his Infinite Wealth Strategies uh, course, and he basically said every Black man that has something to say and want to leave an imprint on the world needs to either write an ebook or a real book. I didn't want to write an ebook because I wanted to see if I could actually write a whole book. And I did. And then Eric Thomas had wrote a book called UOU, and I'm such a fan of him. I'm like, I have to write a book. This is kind of taking me towards that journey of writing a book, because both of the people I admire wrote a book.
I got it. I got it. So we have two more to go. So what is the biggest lessons you've learned about relationships?
The biggest lessons I've learned about relationships. That is a great question. That is a great question. One lesson I've learned about relationships is all relationships is transactional, and that is not a bad thing.
Hmm.
Even us talking right now in this relationship that we're creating, I'm getting something from being on your platform. You're getting something from being on my platform. It's all transactional. When you're married, it's transactional. Your wife gives you peace, love, uh, whatever else. You give your wife security, um, direction, whatever else. Most all relationships is transactional, and that is not a bad thing. That's one of the most profound things that I've learned about relationships.
Our relationships is transactional. Wow. Okay, beautiful. So what about habits? What daily habits keeps your mindset strong?
For one, like I said, I read 20 pages. That's non-negotiable. Um, my eating habits, we try to eat as clean as possible in my household. Nothing with more than 5 ingredients on it. So I'm always in the stores looking at the back of packages and seeing what's inside of it. That, and then affirmations, positive thinking. How do I think about myself? How do I view myself? When I'm looking in the mirror and brushing my teeth, what do I see? So positive affirmations. Um, uh, Trying to learn something new every day, or expounding on what I've learned in the past. Um, what else? What else? And being mindful of what I let in my mind too. So when I'm on social
Hmm.
media, I'm clicking on stuff that can feed my brain rather than take from my brain. Those are some of my daily habits.
Are beautiful ones. I love that. I got it. So finally, my man, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And so those folks who like to reach out to you, learn more about the wonderful stuff you're doing, or even ask you questions or make a purchase of your wonderful book, how can that be possible?
Okay. The last thing I would like to say is just uh, the brain is the name of the game. Mindset guide. It's more than just a book. It's a mindset guide. It's a way of living. It's a lifestyle. Um, I feel like when you read my book, you'll have a guide to rewriting anything you've been through, or tragedies or traumas, um, terrible characteristics that you have, bad self habits. It'll walk you into being able to change that for yourself, because ultimately you have to make the change for yourself. There is not going to be a book. There's not going to be a person. There's not going to be one specific said thing that will help you change. It's you making the decision to want to get out the dark.
Got it, my man. It's you making the decision to want to get out of the dark. I got that. So for folks who like to reach out to you, your contact info, or they want to purchase your book, how can that be possible?
Okay, my Instagram is introverted mentor. That's only the really platform that I'm on. Instagram, Introverted Mentor. And then I have a website, sinislifeofficial.org. Again, sinislifeofficial.org.
So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this wonderful stuff with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.